I'm giving you a 10 on the music, Wes. I'm giving you a solid 10.
You know what? I feel like such a piece of shit right now. I was like, man, that's a solid 9.8, the highest score I've ever given, and Bill comes in with a 10. I give it a 10 too, Wes. Man, I don't know that could be topped. That was top notch.
I can understand how I got the first 10, and we're just going to leave it at that. That was a gifted 10, but I'll take a gifted 10. So, fuck yeah, let's roll. Let's not explain it.
Did we ever standardize on music?
Well, man, I have a membership to Epidemic Sound, and I gave Wes the login so he can go through and pick out some good music for us.
Yep.
And I just typed in rock and roll, and that was the first song that came up. You know what I mean? And so I threw that one on. Man, I told Wes, hey, you can, man, I threw a piece of music. If you want to use it, you can. And man, that's why I gave it the 10, because it was
so you're
my
not
song.
Stealing his thunder, but man, you're kind of stealing his thunder.
You know, at the whole, hey, Bill, let's not talk about it. But then he talks about it, you know. I feel like
I ain't going to say nothing about it on the show that I gave you that song and I teed it up for you or anything like that.
Appreciate everybody coming in tonight. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to go play us out with this number 10.
Man, we need to welcome everybody, and we need to tell them to share it, and we need to tell them, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, join the show live on YouTube or Facebook Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Central, and you can watch all the madness happen. You can watch it all live. So, welcome everybody. You got anything to say, Wes? I mean, I think I kind of did your job about sharing it. You usually say that, don't you?
I do. But since you took the music spot, you did that. You shared with me the link about 12 minutes before the show. It was enough time. I should have been able to do it. I feel like you set me up for failure, but we made it happen.
We're not 3 minutes in, but the tension's tight.
We got G-Walk already in the comments, man. That guy. I forgot to tell you guys, last week's episode was sponsored by Adderall. We got to give those guys a shout out. Make sure we get our sponsor money. Appreciate you.
We got all the pharmaceutical companies hitting us up this week, you know.
And we don't care where it comes from. We don't care where it comes from.
We don't give a shit. Pharma money, we'll take it. Look, illegal pharma money, we'll take it. We don't care. But if anybody's feeling generous tonight, since we're going to go ahead and get in it, and Little Gringo's already trying to talk a little smack.
We just started. I'm ready for a Raker refill.
Look, I'm about to go get another Spotted Cow refill. So,
I mean, real quick, are you guys, man? I mean, let's just cover a little current events. I mean, we got Ira coming on. I'm going to go ahead and say now, Ira probably won't be here till maybe 8:30. His daughter had a softball game. So, but man, do we want to talk about? Do you know much about Jordan and the turn-in and him missing that pork turn-in, or no? Do you much about that?
I know the entire story, but let me tell you, I had to listen to Jordan. I know he's listening, so I'm gonna give him a little shit. He ear raped me for an hour and 12 minutes.
Hour and 12. He said hour and 12, which you know is accurate.
It was very accurate. That's why I went an hour and 12. So if we're going to hear the story, he needs to tell the story. You think we can maybe get him in, send him a link? Jordan, would you be willing to tell the story?
Let's patch him in.
30 minutes.
Man, we do have 30 minutes. Let's patch him in.
30 minutes. Man, I'll send him the link and see if he wants to come on and talk.
Oh, you know, he's so nervous. He don't do well. He don't like he's a superstar that likes to stay away from the camera. So he's probably going to play like I didn't get the link. I wasn't looking. I wasn't even on the show.
He's commenting. He's here. He's in.
I'm sending him the link now so he can at least. We got 30 minutes, Jordan, to chop it up. You know, if you want to come on and give Wes, you know, we can go over Wes results as well if we want to.
Let's not. Hey, matter of fact, I brought the moonshine out tonight. Yeah, if anybody wants to buy me because of my disastrous start of the year, I'll take a donation tonight and drink for you.
All donations tonight go to Wes Garrett. I'm just calling it.
Look, they go straight to Wes. Straight to the get Wes back on track.
If this is true, guys, can we wait till one of the Bittners come on? I would really appreciate that. If anybody got any of the Bittner boys, let them know Donations are coming to me. I need some more brisket. I need another smoker. I need another tutor.
Yeah. What about a trailer? Have you torched that trailer yet or no?
Trailers. Yeah, we're done with the trailer. I gave it up.
Fuck that trailer.
Yeah, fuck that trailer. Never knew my year could start.
I'm like, man, it's a little clean in here.
I had Phil kind of walking around. He was like, Jesus. I know, man. It's not.
Oh, shit. Hang on.
Holy shit. We got him on.
I'm getting a refill.
Hold on a second. We've already, it was 100 people just came on right now. Holy shit.
Can you flip your phone sideways, Jordan, or no? You got a special stand?
Look.
There you go.
The richest son bitch on here gives 99 cents. Thank you, Eddie, you piece of shit.
That's 99 cents directed towards Wes Garrett. Hey, Allie.
Hey, you want to say hi?
We want Bruce to say hi. He's just F Mr. Wes.
Yeah, he don't want that.
I don't blame him. Yeah, he's like, I got better scores than Mr. West now. What's up, big man?
There he is.
What is going on? You ready to get on and talk some barbecue? No, he's out.
He's not interested.
Done. G Walt, thank you, my man. I appreciate you
coming in with $1.49.
He may go in the overdraft with that one, but I do appreciate you. I really do. I'll make sure I drink for you.
Man, you got. There we go. We got another one.
Well, I can't even keep up with him, man.
John.
Whoa, Jank! Oh, he's throwing that.
Turn it up.
They're donating for Janky Leg now. They're closing it out. This goes to Janky.
Eddie, it doesn't matter. That 1999 is coming over here.
You got $20 coming your way, Jordan. So
this is a Miss Pork Fund.
Yeah. John, we appreciate it.
Let me go ahead and start by saying
this is the Janky's new turning clock.
There is more donations since Jordan came on than there are comments.
Man, we've never had this many viewers. We're 57,000, Janky.
It's funny you said that about the clock. Look what came from Amazon today.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn.
It's funny you say this because I don't know that it would have mattered. They hated my food anyway. So
it always matters.
It always matters.
No,
can we backfill to everybody here just before you get going? So I think everybody in barbecue keeps up with all the big team players and all. So if you saw Jordan and you were looking down there and you couldn't see, and you finally found him at the bottom, there's a reason for that, and it happened. And we can make fun of him because that never happens to him, but he's going to tell the story of how he missed. Was it pork turn-in?
Yeah.
So
nice.
Give us the R-rated version.
Well, since you fucking said I talked for an hour, I'm going to make it real quick.
We got 30 minutes.
So basically, long and short is I went to Iowa. I need one win for my 7th win for the Jacks. So went to Iowa, never been to Iowa. I'm going to start it by saying I don't know. There was 2 sets of reps here. I was not put off, but at the beginning of the contest, I felt like one of the reps made a comment pretty much along the lines of like, and I know that people take how people say things, but I felt like it was kind of a snide comment. Like they just basically said, look, if you have a problem with us or this contest, like bring it to us. You don't need to go to social media. And I just kind of took it. I actually made a joke to someone else. I was like, I feel like maybe they've had a problem before. And another cook that's pretty well respected kind of chuckled and was like, oh yeah. So I was like, okay. So
if that's the opening line of the cooks meeting, probably so.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, well, whatever. So
hey Janky, before we get too deep, can you do any of this in a Kenny Powers voice?
Probably not.
Because I think it'd be all time. I mean, you couldn't look any more like Kenny Powers right now. But if you do it in Queen's Power with the perm going on for next time. But anyway, go ahead.
What was it? Fama La Blanca or some shit?
So anyway, the cook gets into it, and I had Wade Reeder had went with me. Hey, back off for a minute.
Back off and tell my story.
My kids trying to hang on my neck here.
I do it all the time.
I had taken. Hang on, you're about to see him get his ass whipped. Hey,
I'm finna start playing Cats in the Cradle. Hold on a second.
so, I had taken Wade Reeder to cook with me, because Sunday was actually Cruz's birthday party. So I was like, shit, it's a long drive. He can drive part of it. Well, anyway, so he's cooking with me. He's cooked with me before, and if you know Wade, man, he doesn't get super excited about anything. Well, pork is a big turn-in for us, so we have 3 different categories that we turn in the box. So we're processing it, and he's like, hey, man, you know, you have about 3 minutes. I'm like, I know. So we're going, and last thing we do on our pork is I turn in pulled. So the last thing I do is that's what goes in the box. He's like, you got about 1.5 minutes. I said, okay. So finished tossing it, and the organizer or the reps had said that they were going to blow an air horn when you have a minute. So it's like he, you know, Wade counting it down to me, because normally that's what Allie or Teen Wolf would do for me. So he's like, you got about 1:15. I stick the pulled in there, and I'm wiping the box out. He said, hey, you're right at 1 minute. We heard the air horn go off, and I said, jokingly, I literally closed the lid and I stuck it in my warmer. I said, you're about to see a big boy run. And he was like, well, I got to see this. So he steps out on my porch. I go off the steps, and I take off running. And I was the closest one to turn-ins. It was a 38-second walk. And I basically took off running, and I got right to the road next to this tree is where the sidewalk starts to go up to the building. So, you know, I'm obviously not the fastest person in the world. I can get it moving. So I was
like, if you would rank the barbecue people of the fastest barbecue, of the not so fast barbecue people, where would you come in towards the maybe Joe?
Can you beat Schaefer?
listen. So I got to the right on the road, and I'm telling you, it couldn't have been 15 seconds. And I got to that right there on that sidewalk, and the organizer's was up at the building, and he's waving his hands, and he's like, stop, you're done. Or the rep, I'm sorry. And when he would yelled at me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've cooked 170 comps or whatever. I've only turned in boxes maybe 10 times. So I just stopped and was like, what? And he was like, you're done, stop. And about that time, Aaron Stauffer, I guess I talked to him after this. He thought he was the last turn-in. He had asked him, hey, am I last? They said, we're waiting on one more. He's like, well, I know who that is. And so he was on the opposite side of turn-ins. And when the organizer yelled at me to stop, Aaron, Allie's giving me what to tell you.
I don't want you
The rep.
to think it's the organizer.
The rep told me to stop, and Stauffer, all of a sudden, he's like, Jordan, fucking run. What are you doing? Run. So I take off running again, and the rep yells again, you're done. And I'm like, how the fuck? And now listen, I made an ass out of myself in Iowa. I'm sure I'm hated.
This is where Kenny Powers comes in. You're doing good.
I lost my shit, and I was pissed because I'm like, how in the fuck am I late?
Rightfully so.
Because when I was leaving, like I said, the horn went off. Wade was like, hey, when I jumped off the trailer, he's like, hey, you have about 50 seconds to go. And I was like, and that's what I said to the rep. I was like, how the fuck am I late? I haven't even been, I left my trailer and I was running. You stopped me 10 seconds later. And he basically didn't want to say anything. And Aaron was like, that's bullshit. He had time because Aaron was looking at his phone. And I was standing there like a dumbass. And I made an ass of myself, and I was pissed, and I pretty much dog cussed him, and everyone that was standing there saw it, I'm sure. And I went back cussing like I had Tourette's. Like I threw my pork box on the picnic table team next to me. I was like, you want some pork? And their friends were like, hell yeah, we want some. And I was just, oh man, I was dog. I was.
And you still mean everything you said. Is that right?
What's that?
You still mean everything you said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and that's the, and I'll be honest with you, the organizer is Joe Osbrink, and I think he's as solid as the guy as they come. And I talked to him after the fact, and I just told him, look, man, this obviously cost us a lot of money. I traveled 8 hours here. I'm not making an excuse. And if in my opinion, if I would have, in hindsight, Allie was like, you should have just went up and looked at the clock. That's on me because I don't turn in, and I know that sounds terrible as much as we've cooked. I don't really know. Man, I cook the barbecue and I stick it in a box and Allie leaves. You know what I mean? I don't. But
Sure.
when I used to turn in, I would stand there and they'd be like, your box is the wrong way. I'm like, shit, okay. So I'd flip it. I don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You're either winning or learning.
Yeah.
Either
What
winning or learning.
I don't understand is maybe someone with KCBS, even someone in Power is watching. You can chime in. How is it that they can't make exceptions when a rep screws up? There should be an exception.
So here's the other thing that frustrated me. And man, I'm not. Listen, if you're my close friend, you're gonna hear me bitch and complain. But I try to do my very best not to. Wes, shut the fuck up. So I'm gonna. I mean, I try not to go and make an ass of myself in public. And I really don't try to get into the Facebook drama, but I was so pissed. And I bet if they wouldn't have said that in the beginning about don't go to Facebook, or like, I almost felt like, hey, we might fuck up. We don't want it to be said. And it really, really pissed me off a lot. And yeah, I went to Facebook and
stirred the pot, buddy.
Pretty much.
It went fucking viral in the barbecue world.
And listen, because Allie was like, did you fucking miss turn in? I'm like, I'm telling you, if I'd have missed turn in, I'd have been pissed, but I'd have been pissed at myself and would have belly ached in the trailer to my own self. You know what I mean? But the reason that I know that I'm not out of pocket is because Wade Reeder was standing there and he's like, that is complete bullshit. He was like, I'm looking at the clock. And that was pretty much it. But listen, at the end of the day, and this was what I said to someone who made a comment. I said, it's black and white. It wouldn't have mattered. I couldn't have won that contest. They hated everything about me. They didn't like anything but right's right and wrong's wrong, man. And
absolutely.
They should have just, now that I know, I know they set the clock down. You would have thought he would have just set the clock down or let me get all the way up there and said, hey man, it's 1:05:10. You're late, But, and that's the other thing. And this is on me. I was standing there like a dumbass. Someone was like, why didn't you go look at the clock? Dude, at that point, I was so pissed. I was just seeing red. And I'm going to be honest, Aaron was just as pissed at me because he was like looking at his phone and he was like, it's not even fucking 1:05. And everyone knows your phone, it's an atomic clock. Your phone matches. So, hey, it is what it is. I got my belly aching out of the way. I wasn't going to win that contest anyway. But
that right there has been your Band-Aid to get you to sleep at it. Like, I wasn't going to win anyway, but it don't make you feel any better. And
Hey,
I think everybody out here knows if you want to beat Jordan, just fucking stop him. He'll stop.
So Jordan, aside from giving us one of the quotes of the year on the Shiggin Fried show being "I cussed him like I had Tourette's," which, like that's right up our alley, and I appreciate that. But would you do anything different going forward?
Well, so I don't know. I probably would have just kept running and just go up. It's probably in hindsight, it's glad you stopped me. I was probably going to have a heart attack.
All right. Well, look, let me ask you different. So, like, I get it. You're like, why didn't I go look at the clock and this and that? Man, where you're going to start? Are you going to kind of shave 2 minutes off or something? Or you're still going to hit that last minute?
You're going to ask anyone that knows me. I'm the last pork turn in 95% of the time. I'm the
Okay.
last person. If you took my class or you know my pork box process, it's a process, and it takes a while. And I mean, I don't know, we're 100.
And we don't, but if you would take it from the top, we'd appreciate it. You know, just don't be on the chicken side show.
I don't know the.
I mean, we all have the notes, but we want to hear it from
Yeah,
you.
but we ain't heard it from you. You know what I mean? It means more coming from you.
Yeah, I'm just saying we've done 170 something comps, and I've been one of the last ones on pork table, especially since I've kind of known what to do in pork. I'm always last or
Right.
one of the last few, and I've never missed a turn in. You know, this is the first. And listen, this gives Allie firepower because we've never missed a turn in. And
Hell yeah. And she wasn't there.
But she ain't a big fan of running, is she? Don't make me run. How many times has she said, don't make me run?
Forced over pork.
Do you know how many times I've heard, don't make me run?
There has been some lawyers spoken to on a Monday after some of the shit that's happened to them on pork on a Saturday.
I love you only goes so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, man, like I said, it we'll never know. I can never prove it. I think Wes's first comment to me was quit bitching. You didn't win, so you're pissed, or some stupid shit like that.
I was not. I was not. If it was, I remember the comment. He said
Before or after awards in Mississippi? Was this before or after awards in Mississippi?
it was after, and he said something smart ass to me. So
We were talking to each other on the ledge. We were doing.
yeah, I think he turned in 3, but his score was still a little higher. The Lord favors the Kirkpatricks is all I can tell you. And for everyone who bought a car at Kirkpatrick Motorsports that Monday, your interest rate's a little higher than you would have really gotten. So
Oh shoot!
that is good, man. That's a hell of a story, but I really am. I hated it had to happen to you.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. But yes, I had like 4 or 5 people shit talk me about they're like, your clock is too small in your trailer. So I was at work and I was listening to him give me a hard time. So I went on Amazon and ordered me like the biggest one I could find.
I tell you what, the guy that we have coming on tonight, he has got a huge. I mean, his clock is probably this big. You know.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ira's clock outside of his trailer, Phil? Have you seen his clock?
Where?
It's massive. Man, Ira has probably the biggest clock in
Oh,
barbecue.
yeah. It's on the side. It's green lettered.
Yeah.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge one.
It's huge. It's huge.
Man, I know
And
me. I've got two. And mine
Yeah.
are like the, what do they call it? The astronomical, like get attached to your phone and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I've intentionally set one 30 seconds ahead. Like I take it off that mode and turn it 30 seconds ahead to trick myself into going, you ain't got that much time. Like intentionally.
Fred, I'm going to drink on that one. I like that comment.
It's like hitting the snooze button. I still got 30 seconds.
I will say the top of my leg was hurting, and Allie's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, I ain't.
I pulled the calf. Fucking running to the motherfucker.
He pulled a hammy.
It happens to the best of them, man. But just tell you, so you ain't going to win it anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? You're in for GCs. You're not in for anything else.
I just would like to try to figure out one more.
Well, you know, you did make one smart move. You did make one good move. You didn't go to Mississippi thinking it was a qualifier, you know.
It's the Mississippi world, man.
I know somebody else is
Break a refill.
It is
somebody
the
else
Mississippi
all
world.
the way
Call
to
somebody and you
Mississippi.
ask about a comp and go, you know what? We're at 20 right now. We're probably 30, 35. Like, listen.
That sounds like
solid.
the best Garrett line.
Yeah.
I am a salesman.
Hey, look,
There's no doubt.
in hindsight, I'm like, man, I think he was bullshit with me the whole time and I wasn't getting it. You know what I mean?
Phil, would you do
worried
anything different next time, Phil? On
No.
Mississippi Podcast.
I always try to win contests, so no, I wouldn't try to do anything different. But
Good crawfish. It wouldn't storm. It was just windy as shit.
it was
And he's
windy.
turkey hunting and he's on turkeys.
I heard
I think he's living a good life.
Bill,
No, I wouldn't do any. I wouldn't do anything. No, I'm
Thank
glad
you,
it
Fred.
played out the way it did because I probably would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I just cooked qualifiers, and I really thought it was going to be a qualifier, and then I pulled up. I'm like, fuck, where's all these goddamn teams at?
It was close, but I can tell you the SCA pulled out. They came on there and said we had to have so many teams. The thing that sucked about it is they got the number of teams. And Phil, I don't know if you were there when we were talking to the rep. They decided they were going to lose money, so they pulled out. And the teams that were going to cook that were on the stake side were like, well, we're not coming. So those teams backed out of the KCBS side. So we ended up with 17.
Man, it's
I
a
know.
real nice
He
venue.
called me
I mean,
at like noon, and he said there's 4 teams here.
Well, Phil gets somewhere on a Tuesday afternoon, and then he's wondering where all the teams are at. And
we'll tell it your way.
the truth.
Oh shit! It was a good time, and it was windy as fuck. But nobody can predict that. It was fucking
No.
crazy. Man.
Hey, it could have been a little north, and it would have been windy and
Man,
stormy.
but I tell you what, man. I didn't know how the judging would be in Mississippi, but it's some of the best judging I've ever seen.
We had 4 tables, but somehow Phil didn't hit all of those tables that we all hit. It's weird. It's fucking weird. It's like they took his box separately.
Man, you ain't gotta have the best. You just can't have the worst.
Very true, man.
Have you cooked Mississippi? Jordan, have you cooked Mississippi or no?
He won't come down.
No.
It ain't worth his time. Like I even called in a personal favor. He was like, "We're not that good of friends, Wes. I'm going north."
Man, hey, Jordan, put it on your list. Just come down and pluck one off. Fuck it.
We got Brookhaven coming up, man. We're at 16 right now. We got till Saturday. We had 5 last week. We put out the post. We're at 16 now.
Their fucking teams. We will quit barbecue. We'll never cook anything in the state again if motherfuckers don't sign up. That's how they get teams involved.
That's the only way to do it. Nobody wants to support it, man. I mean,
man, it's terrible. Look, really, seriously, Ridgeland was a great venue. I get it was windy, but I mean, whatever it is.
Was it not a good venue?
It was good as they come. They had good money. Had good money. Shit. I mean, we had all 3 teams from Mississippi. Fuck. Yeah.
And some heavy hitters, man. Now Bill don't come over no more. Bill's got a couple of envelopes that
Bill don't come over no more.
And does it cold. And after he got a roll of quarters for winning one time, he was like, I'm out. I'm done.
Man, those envelopes jingle. Not about
the money, Bill. It's about the pride.
And Bill said, I'm going to Mississippi. I said, man, good luck. Yeah.
He did. Now, hey, Phil, seriously, hold that check till Monday and it'll cash.
Man, I didn't think it was a smart move putting all of them in at once.
Yeah, you want to cross those over to each day. Hit one on Monday, one on Wednesday. It'd be a smart play.
Man, you know what? But I did plan it out pretty good because I decided to go turkey hunting in a torrential flood, like 100-year flood. Like Wes has never seen this much water on his deer. Like I've never seen it at that level. And I'm like, well, that's what the level is right now.
Well, I didn't even see the gate the first time until I zoomed in, and I was like, is that where the gate goes?
Yeah, and you recognize that gate, what used to be the gate, but now it's the water above the gate.
Yeah, it's where you anchor to right now.
Man, this is life jacket territory. I'm going into town getting a kayak. It's back.
But the best thing is, are you on birds or not?
No, listen. So, we traveled.
Now he is. Listen to this.
No, listen. So seriously, so we came up Sunday, and it was still raining on the tail end of those storms. We got it into Starkville, and we come up the way to go past where your deer lease is. So I told him, I'm like, man, let me hit this and let me see what we're looking at. And I'm like, that's a fucking lake. We're going fishing. I mean, fuck. We ain't going hunting there. We're going fishing. There's a lot of water. But this is it. All right, so we'll see what it hit. And so yesterday, all I did was kind of like scout all this ground and stuff and kind of figured out where I could get that wasn't flooded because most of it was flooded. I mean, it was really some record flooding. And this morning, man, I got in there really early once I figured out a couple spots across water where I wouldn't drown, you know, because it was dicey. And I got in there, man. I got to calling, and man, I got some gobbles this morning. They were talking this morning, and man, they got some gobbling. Next thing I call, and man, here comes a nut. You know, boom, they're coming this way. I'm like, holy shit, this bird's coming. I mean, this all happened in 15, 20 minutes. This bird came closer. I call it gobble, and it blew up next to me around this side. And I come around, and I'm like, holy shit, this bird's about to come in. I'm like, I cannot believe that Wes Garrett's not full of shit. There's turkeys here. So, and I'm like, he's so full of shit. There's no turkeys here. And there's a turkey, like this turkey's coming in. And I see it, I'm like, holy fuck, there's that turkey. And it came into, I was in some pretty thick, the whole goddamn thing is thick, right, Wes? I mean, look, man, there's not a whole lot of open areas, but it's thick. And then there's one open, I see this turkey, and I'm like, I think I could shoot him right there. And I'm like, be patient. He'll come in. And this motherfucker left. And I'm like, motherfucker. You know? And I'm looking at him, and it was 30 minutes after daybreak when this turkey came in. And man, I'm
You're gonna have to get your story better. He didn't say I'm out.
Do it. Yeah.
He said I'm out.
Yeah. I'm out. Man, it came down to the last minute. And I don't know if the clock was right or if the fucking yeah. Jordan left already. Sorry, I was trying to throw something back.
I knew you were going with this, you piece of shit.
Hey, listen. So anyway, that bird kind of, he left out, and there was a hen calling on the other side. I think there was a hen on the other side of the bird calling the bird back the other way.
Yeah.
Which obviously, if I could have done it over again, I would just unloaded the gun, and I think the bird was about 40 yards. But I was like, man, is he 40 or is he 50? And anyway, I didn't kill this bird, but the bird was there. I called this bird in. Wes, like, I feel like tomorrow we'll be holding bird. I don't know. We'll see.
I want to be plural because I've told everybody on here knows how much I want birds taken off our land because they're corn thieves. I said, look, shoot it. If there's any green gene.
You were in the back of my ear. You might have fucked me a little bit on that. Like, maybe I can get 2. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, just shoot that bird. What was I doing?
I told him, I said, shoot every bird you can see and stomp the eggs if you run across the nest. But the wide open woods, the beautiful woods, I know people didn't tune in for this, but I'll just say it's on the other side of the creek that you're going to have to get over to. But tomorrow you might be able to get there. Man,
that bird came from, it crossed the creek. So, the feeder, whatever feeder was underwater, which you probably never seen that.
Yeah, no, never.
That I showed you yesterday. Yeah. Man, this morning, that picture I sent you was the same feeder and there was no water there. And that's where I hunted. So whichever feeder that is, you probably know the spot.
We call it.
And that bird came in right from the, whatever it was, northwest side. So
yeah, there's not a spot that I can't tell you to go to that there's not 20 of them on the camera all the time. So, man, get somewhere and just call them in.
Now, let me ask you this, Wes. I mean, you've had a lot of rain. Does your lease flood a lot? Like
it will. We will get some on that. It's a large creek, small river type thing. I mean, people say a creek. I call it a damn river. It'll crest for about a day. And it'll come out on the land some, but not anything like what Phil showed me some stuff that
Channel 6 News had a helicopter above me.
Well, when he said
a turkey call, and they're filming the river in his room.
Well, he told me that he ran into another hunter, and it was Jim Cantori, and I knew then that it wasn't him. He was hunting our land, so he called the bird back over.
Is your trailer safe from flooding? You don't park your trailer there.
We don't park there. No, the guy won't let us. I've had that lease for 13 years, and he won't let us put anything out there. And honestly, it's right on the highway, and we've had multiple things stolen from there, so I wouldn't put one out there anyway.
I got you.
We got an RV park about 2 miles down the road, and it's perfect.
I got you.
So, yeah. So you
I
let
know
you
every morning I walk
didn't
out the
know
woods, I'm like,
And if
oh,
the
there's my
politically
truck.
incorrect
There.
trailer was going to get flooded there, and you'd have an insurance claim, and you could maybe get something new, but I guess not. No.
I've got my ways, man. I've got my ways. And I'm going to tell you, if I don't get this lined out, which look, I'll hit this head on. I've never had 3 contests. Really, well, I can say 3 out of the 4 that have been this bad. We're going to line it out.
Back to Texas.
But if there's another one of these fuckers, there's going to be a flooding or a fire. I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't know if you had a spot picked out on that lease to Parker, so.
I may know a guy or 2 that can make some stuff disappear, and I don't care if my insurance guy's watching or not. Can't prove it. Can't prove it. Just change the name. I won't even call you out.
I'm not
What about
cooking
you
Montgomery.
boys?
I'm not cooking Montgomery County. I think someone asked if I was cooking Montgomery
Yeah,
County.
they was. Where are you going this weekend?
I'm going to Corpus. So
Okay. Yep. Carl's
Man,
going
how'd
there.
you do this weekend, Bill? Shit, let's talk about some recap, huh?
well, we got the GC coming on the show if he shows up. Like I said, hopefully his softball games didn't run too late. But man, yeah, I had a 3rd brisket, a 12th rib, and man, I got destroyed in chicken. So man, I finished 9th overall. But man, I was happy with the brisket, happy with the rib, but man, I wasn't real happy with the chicken. So I was hoping it would get in there for something, but not 40th. But man, it is what it is. I hit a West Garrett table, so what can I say?
Good friends, man. Good friends.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you.
Oh,
That's
Phil's got some new art, huh? Oh,
He
shit.
took that $38 and put it to good use.
Right. Oh,
Without,
man, looks
you're
like
gonna-
looks like the GC is finally trying to log on. Big sexy Ira Green, but
Oh hell,
he's getting in the green room, boys. So
he's
Yeah,
good.
thanks for asking. I had a pretty good weekend. Shit, I mean, I got in there for.
Well, come
man,
on in,
just-
Green. Come on in. Let's get
Make
him.
a refill. Garrett West, tell him about it.
It's nothing worse insulting to have the guy that have to tell about his fucking GC over in my home state. Yeah, I'd rather not. Guys, he had a good cook. Fuck him. I don't want him to get killed, but I wouldn't care if he had a blowout. I don't want anybody hurt, but he deserves a little bad luck. Now, he had a good cook, man. He was smiling, having a great time. And, we got to hang out with Miss Terry, which she's awesome. And, man, I didn't know he did tamales. Does he give you guys tamales?
yeah, he cooks some. Yeah.
He, I don't think he was really on the fence whether he wanted me to have one or not. And I
Right.
think she snuck one over to me. Dude, those things are unreal.
Yeah,
Love
they're
them.
good. Yeah.
Very, very good. So we had a good time, man. Went and ate some great crawfish that he was all worried because you're not gonna get any good crawfish. And I think he damn near put him out of business by himself. So yeah, we went to Mudbucks and had a good man. We had a good time outside of the contest for myself. Dude, it was awesome. We had a blast.
And I spoke to him, and he said, "Man, right after awards, it was like everybody just started hooking up, and they were, which is different for Texas. A lot of us, but KCBS, everybody hooks on, and man, it's a ghost town. So in a matter of 15 minutes, man, he was there by himself. Looking for someone to celebrate with. So.
Well, that was dude. That's just a KCBS event, and that's not me trying to just call KCBS people out, but we all show up with trailers. No one really gets out and walks around a whole lot anymore. And when the contests are over, they're trying to get home. I mean, they're not being an asses. They're trying to get home. The only people trying to stay are the ones who had great cooks,
or the ones who want to party.
RGC. All the ones that want to party. That that's what they do for a living. They don't work for the man. They work for themselves. So, they were having a little bit of a freaknik out there. And I'll leave and I see Phil heading down the hill. I don't know what happened. I know he's in a good mood right now. So I think he had a good time.
Man, let's go over the cook, Phil. He said, let's wait for Phil to get back. We'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was the pork? Your pork was good? Or was that your
What's that?
Which was the meat you told me there was a meat you were worried about that you need to get around.
Yeah, man, I was a little worried about my pork. I just didn't get to, man, I kind of got jammed up on my time and I needed about No, I was kind of in the Jordan situation, right? That's where I was at, right? No, I mean, and I'm the same way. Like the pool goes in my box last, and I'm like, man, I need to do this, this, and that. And I'm like, man, I need to put the motherfucker in the box and close it and send it, man. Here I am giving it to mom. She's got 2 hip replacements. Hurry up, mom. You need to run. You know what I mean? So
You can hear her clicking all the way through the parking lot. I mean, like,
yeah,
I mean, Hilt's not locked up.
I didn't get to give that box the attention I would like to. The pork was good. I'm not saying that. Man, I really feel like I try to turn in, man, not, I try to turn in perfection every time. I really try to turn in exactly what I want every time. And man, I didn't give it that attention. And everything else was good for the most part. I thought the chicken was just a touch tight, but I thought it was good. So I thought everything was good. And I figured we could get around that pork, which we got a call. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we'll take a call. And anyway, it worked out. Shit. Man, I'll cook in Mississippi again. Shit, man, when's that Brookhaven, Wes? Man, what are we looking at on team?
All I need you to do is sign up. First weekend of May, brother. Bring your ass.
Man, fuck it. Turkey season's still open. Shit, man, we'll get back on that boy in the woods, huh?
So can I put you down? Are we committing now?
Man, fuck it. I don't know if it help or hurt, but whatever you want to do.
I'm going to put you down. Guys, we're at 17 right now. Just saying. We got this Saturday to get to 25, so Phil makes 17.
You were at 18 earlier in the show.
Yeah, we're going backwards.
Now, we
ain't been a contest I've ever had. They ain't been at 20, and you know what? There's 6 or 8 locals that never sign up, so.
Cut at your own risk, but let's just see.
Contests, like, look, you know what? But seriously, for anybody thinking about it, if you want to go cook Mississippi Worlds, like, it's a real, like, man, it's a thing, right? You win Mississippi Worlds. There's a list. Should be a traveling trophy, Wes.
You know what? There we do have one over in Georgia. It's an old hubcap that we swap around. We'll get something, but look, there is a very select few people. But it is the big boys that they win the Mississippi Worlds. It's a prideful thing.
Now, I think Ira's probably. Ira, have you won Mississippi World Champion before? No. Have you cooked Mississippi?
Ira's got a Worlds over here. So we've got Brad, we've got a Bill, we've got Phil, we've got Chris. Who else has won the Worlds over here? The big boys. Fuck, I'm trying to. We got Drew. Yeah, they like the headliners' food, man.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking about.
Yes, I've got some of the Mississippi Worlds, but just saying, they're not the only fuckers. They do come over here and show out, so we like to have them. We really do. It brings out a few extra teams.
Hey, thanks for having us, Wes. We appreciate it. It's a great contest, and I enjoy it.
Everybody
like it when they get it right. I always like it when they get it right.
Choppa, we can take if you can get your butt over here, we'll make it happen. Now it may be some Bill Purvis drums that we got from AutoZone where they got oil in them. We'll get you hooked up,
and they'll work just fine.
It will work.
Let's do a sound check with Ira. See if Ira's working. Is it working, Ira?
Yeah, he go.
I think he's having some technical issues, or
He is the last one on that AOL chat room. I can tell you that.
Man, dial it up again.
Yeah.
There we go. You're right, Brian. He's on the AOL. Somebody picked up the phone.
Shit, looking fresh as ever.
Oh yeah, always looking clean. Are you there, Ira?
Can't hear anybody.
Just talk, brother. Just talk. G-Wall.
I can't hear anyone.
Ears?
Yeah, we can't hear a damn thing, Ira.
Let's see. Mic settings. And he's out. I think we're going to have to get the show.
Well, we're 45 minutes in, so we still.
He'll be back.
He'll get back on, but
he'll get it figured out. It's all good.
Absolutely.
Hey, are you really seriously thinking about cooking Brookhaven, Phil? Yeah.
Man, when is it, Wes? When is it, seriously?
First weekend in May.
Man, I'll
so Bill, if he comes, will you consider coming?
No, I won't be there.
What an ass. He used to love it. See what happens when somebody does good and rubs and stuff? They just turn their back on us. This is where you got to start, man.
I'll have to look at the schedule. Wes, and
That's
see.
still a no. That is just a Bill Purvis no. Fuck.
Oh shit! Hang on, let's see if Ira's working now.
Maybe now. I got you.
Oh, there
Oh
he
yeah,
is.
he's there. He's in there.
Oh,
Technical and use a laptop. It didn't work, so I'm back on the mobile phone. You don't bust out a laptop too much in this household. Everybody's on the phone.
are you ready to go to Mississippi, Ira? And
Ira, we need you over here, boss. Hey, Eddie just said.
And that
Eddie-
just hot. Mississippi just sounds hot. I mean,
It's
humid and hot.
95, but it ain't
I get
hot.
frustrated when it's humid and hot outside, so I try to stay away from them situations.
No. But let me
It
tell
ain't
you,
right now, bro. It ain't right now. It's 41s in the morning. Yeah.
we'll get you some fried catfish and crawfish. Can you deal with that?
Oh yeah, I can deal with that. I can definitely deal with that.
Hey, look, I gotta look, Wes. I gotta give super props. That mud bugs and both locations were really good. I'm talking fucking jam up, man. I made a lot of crawfish. I'm talking these are big motherfuckers. These are mini lobsters, and they were perfect. Those were really, really, really top notch crawfish.
I wouldn't do it, but
I know why Drew's traveling to go cook that contest to eat those crawfish.
every time. He don't care. He's going to eat
They
money.
are that good. They are that good.
Yeah,
Wow, shit.
we will,
Well,
buddy.
Ira had a big weekend. Ira had a big man. It's his first CBA GC. He's been beating up, which is pretty cool. For
I was excited.
I think Wes is leaving us now, Ira. He's got shit to do.
I'm letting all the GCs chat. I don't deserve to be on this platform right this second.
But yeah, shit. You had a good cook, huh? What'd your ribs do, Ira? You didn't get a rib call, right?
Yeah, they came in second. I just had my wife walk up there. We had planned for her to do all the walking initially because I didn't expect to get up. I didn't feel my cook was that strong. But, when I heard the second place chicken call, that the excitement, boosted me halfway up. So the next call, I was like, you can go get this one. I got my excitement out, But, yeah, we got second place ribs, or third place, third place rib.
It was
Yes,
brisket.
sir.
That was the one. You missed brisket or no? Did you get brisket or no?
No, brisket came in 19th. What had happened is, I'm so used to cooking the other initial organization, and so I'm used to 3 o'clock. I cook a lot of time, not so much color or tan. I cook, I'm on schedule, and it's 3 o'clock. That's one I don't have to worry about. So the CBAs I have done, I've never done a 3 meat, so it's always been 3 o'clock, and so I wake up, do my normal routine, lollygag, and I'm like, I got plenty of time. And something just dawned on me. I was like, this is weird. Why are we going to do ribs and then 2-hour break? They're all about the fastness over here. And I went inside and checked the paper and it was like 2 o'clock brisket turn in. So I was like, oh my God. So here I go rushing my brisket, which is one of my stronger meats. And so that right there, that just stuck a fork in me. I was done and just, passing time, enjoying the rest of the day. And so my brisket turned out okay. I got it tender, but furthermore is, set in the glaze and resting. And my procedure, it was kind of fast track, but I was impressed with a 19th in that field. I was highly impressed with that. It was a close one. It was close. Usually when we win this, it's like at least 1, 2, 3 points away, put a little gap, but God dang, that make you, that was hairs away, So Charlie and them were like right there. So yeah, they were close. It seemed like one judge with one little number could turn that whole thing upside down. It's crazy. I was shocked. Well, sure.
Man, it's the same way with KCBS too. I mean, it's usually a lot of times it can be fractions of a point that between Grand and RGC.
Yeah. Just so and I think that's probably the closest, tightest race I've ever come down to because when I hit reserve at Danny Dietz, I think there was the GC, I can't think of his name, but he was my neighbor too. Minotti, he
Minotti,
still he had a spread on me. It wasn't close. His brisket came in strong, and he put some numbers in between there. And like I said, I've seen you guys do it. I go and look and be like, damn, that was close. But I've never been involved with a run. I'm gonna say a run off that close. It was tight. It was real tight. But yeah, it was interesting, and exciting. That was the thing. It was so exciting, just the excitement. It put big butterflies in your stomach, because you don't know. You honestly have no clue. It's so hard, even though you keep up with who got up and how many times, you still don't know. Because there's people I thought were gonna get, third and fourth in reserve, and there were 6th and 7th. So, I thought Eddie was gonna be right there, but that's like, man, it was close. Yeah.
Now the funnest ones are the ones we don't expect. I always say that anyway.
Exactly.
When you don't expect it to be your day, and then it is. It's like it's not a better feeling.
Right, and I can attest to that.
When you're like, man, I think I'm right there, and then they call you for 7th or 8th, and like, man, I bombed something. Same thing.
And it also works. I've seen it several times, and it hasn't happened yet. But man, there's been several events, and man, I think Underground Smoke, David Cano, man, that guy he top 10 smoking on the Rio with no calls. He top 10, he was top 10 at Pleasanton with 70 teams with no calls. So, man, to see a no call, I think he was 5th or 6th at smoking on the Rio with no calls. So it's man, it's never over till the awards are over.
Because all it takes is one solid one for them, and them guys are to the top. That's a dangerous cook right there. That's their fire.
Yeah.
But like Phil said, it is exciting. It's one of the more exciting ones, and it's weird because as many years I've been cooking, to always hit one and you be like, oh wow, it's crazy because they're good. I got a Sonic. I toast a Sonic.
There you go.
What are you drinking in that Sonic drink?
Diet limeade.
It's the only way to roll, baby.
Yes, sir.
So you felt good about the chicken? Was it you hit what? Did you hit first chicken, didn't you? Or was it first
second chicken? It was second chicken. Yeah, it was one of our original recipes. Again, the time used to time. I use that 10 minutes that I'm accustomed to. So, I usually close the lid at 12 and go to walk-in or getting a ride. So then, of course, it hits me again. So here I am scrambling, poking holes in it. And I just put it in the box, and I pretty much, it was an original recipe. I did change a little minute thing, but for the most part, it was okay. It looked good. And I got back, and the one, of course, like I said, since I was 10 minutes behind schedule, I went to poke it and it wasn't good. So I just left it on the grill and was talking, cleaning up, getting ready for rib turn in. And about 15 minutes later, I took it off and, went inside and I cut a little sample and tasted it. And no, it tasted like ass. That's so, that ruined me right there. I just slid it in the trash can. So I was like, it's chicken again is one of my stronger meats, so I was like, I gave up, I was like, this is horrible. That's why I said when Phil said, it's the ones you least expected. It's like, wow. So it was shocking. That's why I said it propelled me to the stage when I heard the song and my name get called. I was like, whoa, like something happened. There's a glitch or something. But you got to keep in mind, I'm not the judge. We cook for people. We're not the judge. We know what it's supposed to taste like. We know where we messed up. But I guess they liked it. I had pretty decent scores on the chicken. So.
And I know it probably didn't help. And, I know it was minute. So I don't know if you'd mind sharing since it was minute. But what was that minute change? That little change.
No, I tell people, I run chicken fried. And a little bird had told me I've been playing with it. And it started falling the last few cooks. And so I had from the Jack, your neighbor is right there behind you, Phil. He came over and gave me a silver packet of that Peep Show stuff. And I said, you know what? This would be the time to try it. I'm gonna go ahead and see what's up. And we ran it. We substituted chicken fried, and put that in there. and I didn't like it. It's not for me. So I can't be confident to go
Game
back
over.
down the road. I'm going back to my chicken fried. But it showed up. I'd be honest, it showed up. So, I probably have to play with it a little bit and get accustomed to that flavoring or something, but people liked it. Again, the judges liked it. I just, it wasn't my flavoring. And so it's hard to get behind or enjoy.
We appreciate that, Ira. It didn't go the way we thought, but appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
It's all good. No, it's all good. And you know what? Sometimes it's maybe a different flavor, something subtly different, right?
Right.
I feel like sometimes judges, man, we turn in a lot of the same stuff.
Exactly.
So, something different, man. I don't think it's a bad thing, whatever that is. So
yeah,
for what it's worth.
Right.
Man, I've been in a similar thing with my brisket. I've cooked a couple of Rosewoods, and man, I've hated them, and they have scored, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How did that thing get in there? I mean, I had at Pleasanton, it was first place brisket, and I'm like, man, it's just no way, and Fred gives me grief because he's like, how was your brisket? Man, I didn't like it at all. I hated it, and man, I still can't cook them. I'm cooking snakes because, man, I don't care what they do. I don't like the flavor, So
right. And then people think you're telling a story or you're and I'm like, no, I'm honest. I didn't care for it. And then you end up hitting high or walking first. It's like I honestly was being truthful. It's just, again, we're not the judges. We're not the ones cooking it. We know our flaws. We know what our flavor we're looking for, so we can pinpoint that out. To someone else, it might be delicious.
And I've tasted some chickens, and I've tasted, man, at Pleasanton, a team brought me his chicken, and man, I won't say his name, but man, it was fucking delicious. He cooked a half chicken. I thought it was great, and man, he got fucking destroyed. And I was like, that's the texture. If I'm cooking a half chicken, I want that texture. Man, it had great texture, great flavor, but man, just completely destroyed. So,
man, unfortunately, sometimes it's not what we like; it's what they like, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
all of averages. If you go over the spreadsheets, they do what they do. But it is nice to cook something you like that scores, right?
yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I always want my meat to be. Like it, I just hate cooking to where I'm cooking for those judges, and it's something I really don't like. So I do really like something to be what I like to eat at the same time. And I mean, me and Bill, we talk about this sometimes. Sometimes the brisket just ain't, like fuck. That's just what wins sometimes,
Yeah.
right? But I'll tell you this, man, my brisket this weekend, I couldn't have felt could be any better. Slices and burn ends, and I didn't turn in the burn ends. And it was on purpose because I was like, man, those slices can't be beat. I mean, they were really good. And man, I really couldn't believe I didn't turn in those burn ends because they were probably some of the best I've ever cooked, So, but I mean, sometimes that's the way it is. It's the way it goes.
Well, did you turn in burn ends, Ira, or did you cook them or no?
No, I used to try to run with burn ends and play with them and do the burn in game, and then the little bit of KCBS I've dealt with and the guys I've talked to and watching Phil hit at the jack, I was like, you don't need them. If you turn in good slices, a good brisket will come out on top. And so I've changed up, and they said, people done told me, and that it might be hearsay, but the burn ends we're late to the show on the burn in game. And I said, well, that's just one less thing I got to do, so I just perfect my slices and try to get them down, best as I can. And hopefully they go to war. And, again, they stay current in the game, I'm okay with it. I'm not shooting. I'm shooting for a home run, but if I can just get them in the game, that's all I need. And I'm content with that. So I've turned to just concentrating on real beautiful. I love a box with just straight slices. There's nothing better. I mean, like you Phil, Cannon to this day, that Cannon guy, he still turns in some beautiful boxes. Can't say if it hits, but they're just so beautiful. It's like I love a pretty brisket box with just straight slices, fanned out, equal.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will tell you that couldn't be more of a better approach to what you just said. And I agree with you 100%. at the same time, since 21 for the past 4 years, I bet there haven't been 5 boxes I have not turned in burn-ins. I mean, one of them was the Jack, but and there are 5 or 6 boxes I have not turned in burn-ins in the past 4 years. So
Wow.
I would say, man, cook them. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
just cook them, right? Like you ain't got to turn them in, but man, I think burn-ins, especially in CBA, are just kind of dominating.
Well, they're delicious. That's the thing. Burn-ins are so good. You know,
So you
that's
can have a good burn in, right? And you can like slices are always good, but then if you just like hammer home with a burn in, man, I feel like it does. You know what I mean? Like I would
yeah.
hate to not have that in my arsenal. Is all I'm
Right,
saying.
right. And see, I did it at the Jack. You know, I ran burn-ins, and they were okay. You know, I came in 11th. You know, but it's skeptical. You know, I'm like, man, if I wouldn't have turned in burn-ins, would we made it there? Would we not? You know, it's just, and then of course the CBAs I have done burn-ins, it knocks me way down. You know, and I'm like, I know my brisket's better than that, and they either come out salty or too sweet, or I haven't got the cook of them down yet. You know, that's still something I have to play
And we
with.
just keep cooking them and keep tweaking them and put that in your tool belt. That would
Yes,
just
sir.
be that's all I'm saying.
Right,
Man,
right.
that would be my thing too. Man, I would cook them every time. I mean, I cook them and I turn them in every contest. I mean, I turned them in at the Jack, and I tied for first. I didn't get first; I got second. But
Right.
man, I mean, I cook them every contest.
Hey, and I did. In 22, I turned them in at the Jack, right? All right, and I was 6th, and I won my
Okay.
table. And man, I didn't think I could turn in a better brisket. So I felt like I won brisket at the Jack, and I didn't turn them in last year at the Jack just because I
Right.
felt like it was a little bit saturated with the fat bite. And man, my
Right.
slices were so good. And
Yeah, that box is fire.
I've told the story. I was disappointed because man, I always turn in burn-ins, and I didn't. So I was like, man, I fucked it up, right? But I'd still have a nice turn-in box or whatever, and I won it,
Right.
and didn't end up needing it. But in my mind, man, I kind of failed on it, So
Mhm.
And I turned them in at the Royal both days at the Royal, this last American Royal, and I walked both days. They had burn-ins and slices. So, man, I would cook them, even if you cook them 10 times and don't turn them in, at least have that experience where you're kind of perfecting them, and taste them after turn in or whatever. But at least have that to where, man, if your brisket goes to shit one day, man, you got something else to put in the box, because
Well,
I've had
I did
that.
at the
You know?
CBA championship. I did that. I had a horrible cook. I was in pain, and I missed 2 turn-ins here in Shiggin. And my brisket, I tried something new, but I cooked original, burn-ins the way I normally do. And I don't know, it was 100 and some teams there, however many, but I turned in, my slices were horrible. So I turned in straight burn-ins. I made it look like a checkerboard, and they hit 25th, in Shiggin. So I was like, wow, just out of straight burn-ins. So they are a good tool to have. I can cook them. I just, I haven't perfected them. And again, if I'm not confident, I don't want it going in that box,
Yeah.
So I just got to get the game down and cook more of them and get confident in turning them in, and we could probably rock with them,
Well, man, if you're like me, I don't like to cook at the house. I don't like to practice. Man, I'm not going to practice burn-ins at the house. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm going to practice burn-ins, man. I'm just going to do it at the comp and not turn them in. The whole time I did KCBS, I think I cooked, I don't know, 28 KC a bit. When I was chasing the KCBS or whatever that one year, I cooked 28. I never cooked a burn-in. I just did slices. Just because, man, there's certified judges there. Man, the people at CBA, they're not certified. So they're not they're not as picky as a certified judge that's going to sit there, maybe squeeze on it and evaluate it and everything else. They're going to pop that fucker in their mouth, and if it tastes good, they're going to score you good, So,
right.
That's my 2 cents. But yeah, because there's been times where, man, I've thought about just turning in burn-ins. I haven't done it. Man, I think you and Phil's done it. And Phil, he did it at CBS that he won. He did it at Banjo Cube.
man, I've done it. I've turned in I've turned in nothing but burn-in boxes probably a dozen times in KCBS. Just nothing but burn-ins. And I think I average about a 175, 176 doing that.
Oh, okay.
So
Like I say I've done it once, and to me, I fared decent in the field of cooks that were there, and how many 25th at the CBA champs ain't bad, over 100 and some teams. So
It
it
ain't
was.
bad at all.
I was excited, and
Yeah.
solid burn-ins. I was a kid. They weren't uniformed in 2 rows. That, like I said, I had them staggered, looking like a checkerboard. Because that's all I had. I wasn't
man, I know
satisfied.
KP turned in 2. He's like, man, I give him 2. I took one in each corner. Like
KP checkerboarded two burn-ins.
when you say they weren't uniform, like, man, you can't imagine like the non-uniform box. I can imagine in my brain right now. He's like, man, sometimes he's like, I put 1 in there. What the fuck? Is that just to confuse everybody? Like, man, who's gonna get that? Like, it's an Easter egg hunt. Like, I see the one in the corner. Who would do that?
Well, he'll
Yeah.
take a point and he'll cut it in half and only cook half of the point one contest, and he'll use the other half for another contest.
Man, he don't need a whole lot of them. Man,
He don't need to cook a big old point. He's just going to give them 2 or 3 burn-ins.
Jam them in there somewhere. Just give them something to. Man, I don't mean he's a 3 ball tonight. He's got the big tournament going on. I know he ain't watching, and I ain't trying to give up his boxes. I'm not trying to that's what KP turns in. I'm just saying he's told me, man, I'll jam 1 in there. You know what I mean? Like a good burn in.
Yeah, okay.
I watched him at Trader's Village. I come out of my trailer, and he was boxing brisket. There was au jus all over the lid, and he had his slices in there, and he had the burn-ins right there on that table. You putting the burn-ins in, and I don't think he was gonna put them in, because the box was full of slices. And he looked at me and goes, "Yeah, they're pretty good. I'm gonna turn them in." And he grabbed 3 of them and just put them in the front, like random in the front. It was already full. Right? Yeehaw! He just put 3. There was a whole line of au jus going across the top of the lid where he drug something across and it just leaked all over the top. Man, he didn't bother cleaning it. Just shut that box. Let's go, Perv. Walk.
Big deal.
Good food wins.
8th overall on that contest. I mean, there was over 100 teams, and he didn't no walk 8th. He was a no walk 8th, so his brisket done well enough for him to get 8th overall. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in my chair. I'm sure he beat me in brisket. So
I don't remember walking that contest. I sat it out.
Yeah.
We're all sitting it out. Get pack my bag.
Yeah. I think I hit first bird at that one at Trader's Village this year.
Circle back. Circle back.
Back, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that bird of yours, I think everybody in the chat is interested in that bird of yours because, man, your bird, all your meats are strong, but bird's definitely one that I think probably more people struggle with chicken than any other meat. And, man, you've been consistent with that.
Fuck Fred.
Yeah, well, when it grows, we try not to change nothing. And I've just taken tips and hints and shigged off of others and make one cohesive bird and just keep it going. Sometimes it don't hit, but I give myself 4 cook-offs before I go to tweaking something, and it always seems to come through at the last one. And I'm like, it's still relevant. It's still relevant, and it'll pick back up, and it'll fall back down, and it'll come back. So I'm not gonna change it. I'm not gonna fix something that ain't broke. I'm lazy, so we're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. I might make minute changes, but other than that,
you say that, but man, I say this often. Man, the hardest thing to do in competition barbecue is turn in something you really love, not get the results you want, and be able to turn in that same thing next weekend. I think that's the hardest thing to do.
It is
in competition barbecue because it's inherent in us to fix what they didn't like, right? Obviously, they didn't like it. Man, you know what I mean? Right? Because they told us they didn't. So we got to fix it. And, and 2, 3, 4 cooks later, man, that's left field. So anyway.
Man, I can do it on even if I hit first place chicken at San Antonio, and I made changes before I went to Houston a couple of weeks later. I changed my sauce, and man, it obviously worked out again. But man, I'm not opposed to changing. You know, if I don't like it, man, I'll still fuck with it. You know, so regardless of how well it does, you know, that's just me though. So.
Man,
Exactly.
we're fucking with shit, but you know what? I'm always trying to nail that tenderness or what, you know what I mean? There's certain things I'm going to nail on anything, and there's only certain things I'll fuck with. So, man, we're always fucking with shit, but man, at the end of the day, we're turning in, you know, whatever.
What are you cooking that chicken on, Ira? Are you still on a drum, or are you on your Jambo?
So, Jambo for the 2 meats, brisket and ribs, and then chicken on the drum. You know, gateway. I put the chicken on the gateway, or Brooks drum, depending on which trailer I'm in. One's got a Brooks drum, one's got the gateway in it. You know,
Right.
But yeah, it's simple. You know, I hook all them little computers up to it and temp cages, and you know, let the technology help out as much as it can. And you know, so might as well use it if it's there. You know, take advantage of it. And then of course, you know, I love a wood smoker, so it'd be hard to get off my Jambo. You know, I'm addicted to it. You know, so we roll Jambo for the 2 big meats. You know, yes, sir.
Nice. Well, and what's your schedule looking like this year? Are you just gonna bounce around and cook here and there, or are you chasing anything?
We weren't, but we've caught a few lucky coins and GCs, and so I'm scheduled to get hip surgery coming up sometime soon. I was gonna do it last year, but we were chasing the jack, and so I said I'll do it this year. Well, we got off to a good start, then we slowed down, and now we come back into it. So we're supposed to be getting, going under surgery, and I'm, a few away. I would like to return back to the jack and try to, that thing is winnable. It's definitely winnable.
How many are you sitting on right now? How many qualifiers you got right now?
We got 4,
4.
So
yeah. You got it down. Hell
so,
yeah.
it's one of those. We're at the crossroad. We got to either go ahead and we only got so many shells left in the gauge to pull on it, or else take it easy. And so we're gonna just play it by ear. If it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna skip t-ball games to go to them again or something like that. It's just if it lines up, if it's a great cook with a good payout, decent weather, we might show up.
Nice.
So we're gonna play it by ear. Yes, sir. And then now we get 1 or 2 more, and then we'll put it in the 4-wheel drive and start, start making the drive to them, because it's tough to hit 5 or 6, and all you need is that one. I think that'll burn me so much that I'd be upset, so I would have to put it in hyper gear to do that, But as of right now,
you got a barrel head from the jack, huh? What was it, pork, or did you get a barrel head at the jack? Yeah,
we got a second place, perfect pork. We tied, so I don't know how they do that, but we're excited. First time there, and to come home with it and hang it on the wall, it was, so. And Danny Dietz, I hit a second pork, so I can cook pork. Again, Chicken Fried helped me out on that. I think one of the first ones on the Champs Academy or something. I went and bought it. I actually paid for that one, and we went through it, and I adjusted some things, and just again listening to gossip and looking at YouTube and TikToks. If you watch enough TikToks, you'll get secrets all day long. I think Eddie done gave his full cook on TikTok. If you watch them all, you just gotta put them in order. And so, between all that,
I need to find an Ira Green TikTok. Where's that one at?
No, we don't make them. We're not that advanced. I'll probably get shut down. I'd be talking crazy, and that's why I said, even on like people ask about classes, like I'd be honest, I can't. I would, and maybe eventually, but it's not gonna be for the novice smoker. It's gonna be like, I'm not gonna show you how to trim a brisket. You should already know how to do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna, tell you what to do. I'm just gonna show you what I do. If you want to pay me to do that we can do that. But I'm not an instructor by far. you know, and if I feel that that's a, you know, a crazy ass question, I'm probably going to say it, you know, so I don't want to offend people. So I just stay away from that avenue. You know, I send them over to LC's class, you know, I'm like, there's a guy that can show you the ins and outs and put you on game. You know, I send them that way. Yes, sir.
Love you, bro. Love you.
Yes, sir.
Funny as fuck. Out there crushing it all the time, man. You're sitting on 4, bro. You got to go for it, man. You got time. April, you got May, June, July. You got 3 months. That's one apiece. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Like I said, we're gonna play it by ear and, you know, go along with the flow and just let them fall. If they fall, that it's great. You know, it would be nice to return.
You're prime for it, so keep kicking away at it, and it's gettable, bro. You can go win that thing. Man,
yes, sir. I hope, you know, like I said, to me, honestly, any one of our Texas teams that are a consistent great cook, which is a lot of you guys and a lot of the guys over on the IBCA side, if they go and honestly cook a good cook, they got to do their homework though. That's where I failed on some turn-ins. You have to know their profile, but do your cook. You know, and the easiest one, don't go up there using spicy nothing, you know, because they don't like heat for anything. We had some of the best chicken, and I think it got like 88, and it was so good. It was so delicious. But you know, we hit them with our habaneros, and they turned us down so hard it wasn't even funny. You know? So yeah, they hit us hard. So, you know, do your homework. But I think any one of our great Texas cooks can go up there and win that thing. You know, it's definitely winnable.
It ain't easy to get there from Texas. I don't have to tell you that.
Right. That's the difficult part. It's kind of like college. It's hard to get into, but once you get in there, you can sleep all goddamn day. As long as you know, take a test, you can graduate. You know, to get into college is different. Yes, sir.
Oh shit! Did you run your same kind of your chicken package that you do on a half? Did you do legs or thighs at the Jack?
We did thighs. Yeah, we did thighs. And yes, sir. Thighs and wings. We had to adapt to that. You know, I started practicing probably 2-3 cook-offs before and hit some PBAs and then Danny Dietz and I got the gist of it down, you know. We even went and got one of them cool little Lazy Susan or the little things you trim on and spin it around and all that good stuff. I'm telling you, we're paying close attention, but again, it's not for me. I don't like work. You know, I like cutting my chickens in halves and slapping them in a Ziploc and let's go. You know, but yeah, it's tedious. You know, I do like it though. I mean, you know, I cooked it the first one, KCBS, and it's a game changer. I understand them. You know, now it was always different from the outside looking in, you know, and I talk bad trash about it and this and that. But you actually cook one, let alone walk and place in one and get an understanding and talk to the judges and the certified people. And it's like, all right, okay, you know, it's y'all done made this is actually a business, you know, let's do it. You know, it's like going to school and taking a test, you know. So it's coming along, but you know, I hope one day I got time to travel and do more KCBS. You know, it would be fun, but as of right now, we're stuck in Texas for the time being.
If I were you, I would go to Mississippi first. If that's just me, you know.
We're trying to get to Louisiana at least.
Man, like I wish I really come here.
Garrett would love to have you there.
I hate all you fuckers tonight. Every one of you. But Ira, we'd love to have you over here, man.
Yeah, we might have to fall in on the schedule. Falling behind the boys there.
World, you got it. It'll go on your resume.
Mississippi World, bro. Like, hey, that's one box you still need to check. You know what I mean? You got all the boxes.
Did you hear what he said? He looks at
one of the only boxes you haven't checked.
I didn't hear what you said.
He said he's going to look at the payouts to determine where he's going.
He don't.
You just need to go. Don't look at the payout. Don't look at the payout.
Don't look at the payout. Are they cool trophies at least? You know, you got to have cool trophies or payout. You know,
the coolest printed out trophy you will ever see.
Okay. Like I said, we might have to put it on the map and go that way. We got some family out there in that area on my father's side. So
Yeah.
We'll get you reconnected, man. I'm telling you, we're like
We'll get you reconnected.
come on over here.
I think in June or July, we're planning on going out there. My father does an antique tractor pull. And so there's a tractor pull going on out in Mississippi. We're going to ride that way and hit,
Yeah.
Missouri, Mississippi right in there.
Why do we not have this, Wes? I'm out
No.
here now. Hey, I didn't know you had tractables.
I've always said we do two things best: pay out the cheapest shit and antique the tractor pulls. We do that here.
Oh, okay. Put one with both of them on. We incorporate both. We'll be there with spinning wheels. We'll have both down there. Barbecue pit in one trailer and a hot rod, farmer on the other trailer. We show up. That's right up my alley.
Hey Fred, while you're in here, are you coming? Because I'm saving you a spot. Let me know. We got Phil coming. We're working on Ira. Can we get Fred?
He said with the envelopes jingle. They don't fold, they jingle over there.
There ain't a whole lot of folding in Mississippi. Man, who won the contest? That guy rattling across the parking lot.
There were two places that Phil could have went after the contest: to a laundromat or to the 7-Eleven. There was either one. We're not doing any goat roping here, man. We cook the goats. We don't rope them.
It could have been the geese. It could have been the geese.
They were pretty aggressive, were they not?
No, I'm telling you what, they were asking for it. You know what? I didn't want to end up on the internet.
They were. I guarantee you didn't count them. Phil may have taken one down. I'm just saying. So, well, hey, congratulations, man. You're killing it, brother. We'd love to have you. Appreciate it. Keep that in the back of your mind, man. We'd love to have you come over for one.
Hey, yes, sir. We'll look at them. We're willing to stroll out and give us something to do. I'll get with the wife and see if we want to get some window time.
How many are there this year in Mississippi?
3. If Columbus comes back, because it's not on the schedule yet, and that unfortunately tends to come out on the schedule about 3 weeks before it happens. Right. If Columbus comes back, 4, but we got 3. We're working on Brandon, or the original one that we did this past weekend, turning that into a CBA. I hope that you Texas people talk about how you'll support it. So one of them we're going to try to turn into a CBA, and we pray we can get you guys to support it, and we can try to start expanding that across the South. So that I think Mark
did Porter win 4th place brisket?
He said he packed off 70 bags of garbage.
I think he won brisket for $25.
He said 45.
Oh my God. We might have some extra in there. $40.
That's low.
I love Porter. I love him.
Fred said he's back in. Fred, I'm serious. We really are working on that. So we're going to try to get our first CB over here next year.
Porter called me today. I owe him a phone call. Porter, I'll call you tomorrow.
Well, he was calling you about that. He's trying to get it organized.
I know. And man, I've been bound up on puppy duty today. So
I get it, but that is one Fred's not coming. We're not allowing him to come to the first ever CBA. So you're out, buddy.
Well, in 2 West, they can do 3 meets as well. If you think that Mississippi would do better with just 3 and not doing 4 to get more teams, it's up to you. So we do 3 or 4.
You can choose which 3.
Yeah. As long as one of them is ribs or pork. You gotta have chicken and brisket, but you can pick either ribs or pork.
Gotcha. I like it. I like this hour turn-in stuff. So, and getting people off the street. Now look, there ain't a whole lot of fronts over here. Y'all keep that in mind. So they're gonna need soft food. Fronts.
I guarantee you, Ira gives it to him soft. If you can ask him, I guarantee you he gives them to him soft.
Yeah,
soft
we do.
you know.
All right.
We foil it up. We foil it up.
Great.
What's the tenderness like, Ira? What's the tenderness like?
Yeah, it's tender. I turn in tender. The only my ribs, I don't like turning in a tender rib. My ribs, I like to have consistency on my ribs, a little chew. I've always done great with a little tug on my rib because it's barbecue. You know, even though they hit it with a knife and fork, it's still a rib. To me, I like a chewy rib than a mushy rib. You know,
Right.
it's barbecue. But now pork and brisket, I want it to taste like butter when it hits your tongue, like cotton candy. I want it to disappear. Especially a snake gold. If you cook it right, man, soon as your saliva hit that meat, it's gone. All they're tasting all they're tasting is straight just grease. So it's great. It's
Hey,
delicious.
Wes, you need to hit them with another round of like and share for the ones that stuck around this late in the show for Ira to give up that Texas gold right there. He just told you. That's what he did.
Hey, look, and we still got a pretty good cast out here. So obviously, everybody, man, we'd love for you to like and share this. But we've had about 7 comments, and one of them I'm going to go back to because it's our guy John up in Alaska. He's one of our best donating guests. He's asking what that chicken sauce is. Do you feel compelled on your heart to talk about that chicken sauce?
No. Who's that?
I don't think he's like, I didn't hear you. So I've had a few people ask what your chicken sauce is. Is that something you can maybe share?
My chicken sauce comes from HEB. I'll tell you that much. It's at the grocery store. Easy peasy. It comes from HEB straight out the bottle. People, I let Phil and Bill and everybody else do all the hard work. I just buy it. It's already, they already put it together. I'm not gonna make seasonings. I'm not gonna make injections. They put it together. Robert did that. He makes all the hard work. I just go buy it. So there's no need for me to twist and add and take out and subtract. It's already done. It's in a bottle. I'm gonna pay my $7, heat it up a little bit. The heat changes flavors and things. So that's all. I'm gonna heat it up a little bit. I might even take it out the bottle, heat it up, and then pour it in. I'm going on the bird with it. But you can find it at your local grocery store all day long. Straight out the bottle. Simple, less is more. You'd be surprised. A lot of the older cooks that I learned from and watched and just talking to around the campfire. I was trying to this and that and adding this and that and 17 things. And they show me, and it's like I felt kind of absent-minded because I look and I'm like, you've been kicking my ass and only doing that. Literally pulling the plastic off the bottle and heating it up. And, just walking ungodly every weekend. I'm over here like a mad scientist, 3 ounces of this, 16 ounces of that, this and that, shades of Parmesan on here. And it's like, oh, hell no. I just gave it up. I'm back to a straight, tear the plastic off the bottle and, let's go. Let's run with it. Pretty much all I got. My rib sauce and my pork sauce is the one that's intricate. The other 3, they're straight out the bottle.
You say
All
like in measurements of quarter cups or whatnot.
Yeah. That the pork sauce they got like 3/4 cups and this and that. Again, that's what I learned how to do. But the other ones are straight out the bottle. I don't play with it.
Bottle. Give us a roadmap.
Again, they're at our local HEB, all day long.
Just give me the aisle.
That narrows it down.
That's too much. That's too much.
When the last time I was at the Jack, I was talking to Darren Worth, and man, he's running stuff straight out of the bottle as well. He says, man, who am I to think that, man, Blues Hog and all these companies have spent a lot of money on research and development on these products, and man, who am I to think that, man, I can come up with some combination? He said, man, I'm just running it straight out of the bottle. So,
and I'll give you 2 things out of that, or what Ira just said. And my mind works the same way. And you know what? Kraft sold a lot of bottles of barbecue sauce, Kraft barbecue. You know what I mean? Like, man, it ain't that bad. You know what I mean? They sold a couple jars, right? So we're talking commercial stuff. But that being said, man, who are we to reinvent the wheel? Man, when you get commercial shit, man, normally they're there for a reason because they're good. So it don't always have to be complicated. And every time, like you said, a quarter of this, ate this. Every time I end up in left field, man, the way I get out of left field is typically simplified.
Yeah.
I'm always too complicated, right?
Yeah.
So when we're in there like, fuck, what's going on? Shit, we always want to fix, and typically by fix we mean doing more. And the correct move most of the time is to just pull it all back in and simplify it.
Can I just
our average judge is the local people, the average in CBA, IBCA, Lone Star. They're my aunts and uncles, cousins, y'all's aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, wives, friends. They're not
there to judge.
Yeah, they're the judge. But no, they're not sitting there, adding cherry, habanero to all their sauces. They're going into HEB and buying something probably based off what the label looks like or what they've seen on TV. And then they go back and they feed their families, and go into the shade tree and eat chicken on Sunday with it and everything else. So, it's just nostalgic to run some sauces from the aisle. They hit, again, I'm trying to be consistent. I'm not trying to blow their, get first places all the time. But if enough people get a hold of that bite and it reminds them of their childhood or grandpa's chicken on Sunday, they're going to give you a good score of the meat tastes good, of it seasoned good and tender. They're going to give you a good score because the sauce is hitting notes with them. It's bringing them back, and again, it can be from Kraft, Head Country, even now Craig's is even at HEB, so there's, a lot of good HEB, sauces.
Rays will get in there.
Rays all day long,
All day long, KP special. Don't think he won't, So.
Hey, but if everybody picked up on what Ira said, he threw Kraft in there to throw us off. Then he came right behind with Head Country. Y'all keep that. That stuff.
It's at HEB, It's just nostalgic. A lot of people are, sitting out in the front yard. You go visit them people, at least on my side of the tracks. They're out there cooking chicken, and they and flip it and then ask you if you want some. Like, no, you just lick your fingers. I don't want that chicken, but I bet it's some of the best tasting chicken you can eat, and it's probably got Head Country, Kraft, or Sweet Baby Ray's on it. One of those three, and half the town is eating that chicken after they and flipped it. So you just gotta watch it. COVID's gone, so we should be all right if you got a little finger action, on the chicken and tasting. You'd be all right. Little germs don't hurt nobody.
When you decide to come over here, I want to let you know there's only one side of the track over here, baby.
That'll work.
We all doing that. The same shit.
Yeah, there's no utensils over here. We don't talk about utensils.
Man, I didn't see a fork till I was 12 years old.
Yes, sir.
Well, shit, Ira, man. We've been on an hour and a half, man. We don't want to take too much of your time, man. I appreciate you jumping on. And
we appreciate you guys. It's always great talking and learning. I learn and I'm a sponge. I try to soak up everything I've encountered, and I appreciate videos and classes y'all give, and everything else. Cause, again, people gossip and talk. You sit back and watch TikToks and, just, again, they're proud of their trays and be like, oh, I didn't know they do that, and then they're going to have one guy that takes the picture, at the class, and you can see who's all in it. And you just go to their Facebook page and you're going to see a lot of stuff on their Facebook page. It's simple, you just got to put the visual effects with it, but no, you guys are doing wonders for the craft. And again, I appreciate it. A lot of people, get involved with it and get burned out or just go way left field. And you guys will keep, innovating and putting out new stuff and changing the game, raising the bar. And I like that because it makes me go harder and try to, obtain and chase the bar. You know, you get stale and it gets boring. Some people get out of it. I'm like, no, change the bar. You know, go higher, go harder. You know, pick different people you want to go try to chase. And you know, you guys are some of the top tier. So to be at the same competition, let alone walk with you guys, is, you know, that's just gratifying in itself. You know, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, you're top tier yourself, brother. You're top tier
Oh, we just
yourself.
try. We just show up late and try to hang in there.
Yeah,
Show up late and drag all the trophies.
for a lot of time. All right, keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing, bro. Congrats on that big win, right?
Yes, sir. We appreciate it.
Win, first of many, I imagine, bro.
We're gonna try.
Like Bill said, shit, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate you, Mr. West. We'll try to get out there one day. Like I said, we're gonna look at the schedule. We'll cruise out there, especially if there's a tractor pull going on. I can guarantee you we'll be there.
We'll get you a tractor pull. You just that schedule, it ain't gonna change. So don't look too hard. Just come on.
There might only be 2 tractors, but we'll get one.
Oh yeah.
I'll take one for you.
Driver over here, but we'll pull some shit. I promise.
Yes, sir. Okay, though. Y'all take care.
Well, perfect, Robert. Thanks a lot.